Hey Raiders Nation, Week 1 is finally here, and the energy surrounding the Las Vegas Raiders could not be higher. After months of off-season moves, training camps, and all the speculation about how this team would look when the regular season kicks off, it's finally time to see it all in action. The matchup against the New England Patriots promises to be intense, a real test for a Raiders squad that is looking to prove that the changes this offseason were more than just paper moves. There's so much to unpack here, so let's dive right into it, position by position, breaking down exactly what we should be looking for when the Raiders hit the field in Foxborough. Starting at quarterback, Geno Smith is the man under center, and all eyes will be on him. This is his first game wearing silver and black, and the pressure is immense. Fans are excited, but there's a cautious optimism because we've seen Geno play outdoors plenty of times, and history tells us that his numbers have been a little uneven when facing the elements. In 50 games with his previous team, 36 of those were outdoors, and he posted 43 touchdowns against 31 interceptions, with a passer rating of 89.7. While that's a solid performance overall, it's clear that he tends to thrive in controlled environments more than open-air stadiums. That said, the Raiders have 12 games indoors this season, which means that the majority of Geno's throws will be under the roof, allowing him to settle into a rhythm without worrying about wind or rain affecting timing. But this week, one game is outdoors, and it's a critical moment for him to set the tone for the season. Establishing confidence early could define how the rest of the year unfolds. The running back room is next, and it's impossible to ignore the buzz around Ashton Gentry. Drafted this season with the intention of becoming the focal point of the ground attack, Gentry is expected to handle the lion's share of touches. If the Raiders give 30 touches to their running backs in a game, expect Gentry to see somewhere between 18 and 22 of them. He's not just a workhorse. He's the kind of player who can shift the momentum of a game with a single powerful run. But his effectiveness depends heavily on the offensive line, setting the tone up front. Colt Miller, Dylan Barm, Jordan Merida, Jackson Powers, Johnson, and DJ Glaze will have their work cut out for them, especially facing a Patriots front led by experienced defenders who know how to bring physicality and disruption at every snap. One matchup to watch closely is Gentry colliding with Robert Spillane. Though Spillane is now with the Patriots, his physical style of play could create moments of drama when these two forces meet on the field. Gentry's ability to consistently break through tackles and make explosive plays will be vital if the Raiders hope to establish a strong running game on the road. Moving over to the wide receivers, this is one of those groups that could quietly steal the show if they perform at their potential. Chip Kelly's offense is designed to involve every skill player, and the Raiders have depth here that might surprise fans who are only focused on the marquee names. Jacoby Myers is expected to be the primary target, though contractual uncertainties always loom as a potential factor. Trey Tucker will likely serve as the secondary option, with Amari Cooper potentially slotting in as the third receiver, depending on the flow of the game. Dante Thornton Jr. adds versatility and depth, giving the offense multiple layers to attack with. What's really intriguing is how the Patriots will attempt to match up defensively. Christian Gonzalez is one of their top young cornerbacks, and putting him on Cooper could neutralize some of the deep threat potential. Meanwhile, Jacoby and the other receivers will have opportunities to stretch the field and exploit mismatches, particularly if the Raiders rotate personnel frequently and keep the defense guessing. The dynamic here isn't just about individual talent. It's about how the Raiders orchestrate their scheme to maximize spacing, timing, and opportunity for explosive plays. Tight ends are a critical part of this equation, especially considering the Patriots' linebacker personnel and the potential to exploit mismatches. Brock Bowers, coming off a record-breaking rookie season, will naturally attract a lot of attention from defensive coordinators, which opens up opportunities for Michael Mayer. The Raiders' offensive philosophy often utilizes 11 personnel, meaning 3 wide receivers and 1 tight end, but the flexibility to line up Bowers outside and bring Mayer in at tight end adds layers to the offense that can confuse and stretch the defense. The interplay between these tight ends and the rest of the receiving core will be key, particularly in sustaining drives, converting on third down, and creating mismatches in the red zone. Observing how the Patriots respond to this versatility will be telling in understanding how prepared they are to handle Chip Kelly's offensive creativity. Now, no offense can succeed without a strong offensive line, and for the Raiders, this unit could very well determine the outcome of the game. Protecting Geno Smith is paramount, and opening lanes for Gentry is equally critical. The Raiders' line will face a physical test against a Patriots front built to apply pressure from multiple angles. Veteran defenders like Milton Williams and Christian Barmore, combined with Vrabel's aggressive schemes, mean that every snap in the trenches could be a battle. If the offensive line can hold its own, create time for the quarterback, and maintain lanes for the running back, the Raiders have a chance to impose their will. If not, the offense could struggle to gain momentum, and the game could tilt in favor of New England. The matchup in the trenches is always overlooked by casual fans, but as any football enthusiast knows, controlling the line of scrimmage often dictates the final result more than flashy plays or highlight reel catches. Shifting to defense, the defensive line and edge rushers will need to set the tone early. Pressure on the quarterback is non-negotiable. Max Crosby, Malcolm, Thierry, Brennan Jackson, and Charles Snowden form a defensive front capable of disrupting rhythm and forcing mistakes. Max Crosby, in particular, has the ability to dominate matchups with veteran tackles, exploiting any weaknesses to free up teammates for sacks and tackles for loss. The defensive tackles, rotating Thomas Booker, Adam Butler, John Alou, and others, provide depth and flexibility, allowing the Raiders to adjust schemes based on what the Patriots show offensively. Taking away the run and forcing Drake, made to rely on passing, will limit their options and keep the Raiders' defense in control. Linebackers are where the defense begins to show its versatility. Tremaine Pratt, Landon Roberts, Dion White, and Jamal Adams are expected to lead the charge, but coverage responsibilities will be the true test. The Patriots' offense relies on tight ends and physical playmakers, and if Raiders linebackers can effectively cover these threats while still setting the edge and contributing to the run defense, it will swing the balance heavily in Las Vegas' favor. Coverage ability from the linebackers will be as crucial as their tackling, because failing to contain intermediate and short passes could extend drives and put immense pressure on the Raiders' offense to keep up. Week 1 is more than just a game. It's the opening statement of the season. Raiders Nation will be watching, analysts will be dissecting every play, and the players will have the opportunity to set the tone for the entire year. From Geno Smith under center to Ashton Gentry pounding the rock, from wide receivers exploiting matchups to tight ends creating mismatches, and from the trenches to the secondary and special teams, every element of the team will be tested. The way the Raiders perform in these first moments will reverberate throughout the season and provide fans with a first glimpse at the potential of this squad. As we move deeper into this matchup, the focus shifts to the intricacies that often separate a good team from a great one. The Raiders have talent across the board, but the key will be execution under pressure, particularly in moments that define momentum. Let's start with Geno Smith again, because the quarterback sets the rhythm for everything. Week 1 in New England is no easy task. The cold, often blustery conditions at Gillette Stadium can test any quarterback, and Smith will need to combine precision with decisiveness. His arm strength is reliable, but reading a complex defensive front that is constantly shifting will be the ultimate challenge. He must recognize blitzes, anticipate route adjustments, and stay calm when the pocket collapses. This is where preparation meets instinct, and Smith's ability to remain poised while scanning the field will likely determine the early success of the Raiders' offense. On the ground, Ashton Gentry will carry the expectation of consistency and impact. Running in New England is never simple. The Patriots' front seven is disciplined, physical, and adept at closing lanes. Yet, Gentry possesses a unique combination of vision and power that could allow him to exploit gaps and force defenders into difficult angles. His acceleration through the line, combined with the ability to absorb contact and gain extra yards after impact, makes him a genuine threat to break big runs. The offensive line will have to sustain blocks for longer stretches, maintain leverage against blitzing linebackers, and adjust on the fly to stunts and twists. Colt Miller, Dylan Barm, Jordan Merida, Jackson Powers, Johnson, and DJ Glaze will need to synchronize perfectly. Any lapse in communication or misalignment could turn a design play into a negative, and against a team coached by someone as sharp as Vrabel, mistakes are rarely forgiven. Speaking of coverage, the cornerbacks and safeties have an enormous task. Eric Stokes, Kai Blue, Darian Porter, Jeremy Chin, and Isaiah Paul-Lamoff form a defensive backfield tasked with balancing man-to-man coverage with zone responsibilities. Nickel packages will rotate frequently, and safeties will often operate close to the line to help contain the run while maintaining coverage over tight ends or slot receivers. Communication and awareness are vital. One missed assignment could lead to explosive plays, and against a quarterback capable of quick decision-making, defensive backs must anticipate, adjust, and execute without hesitation. The secondary's performance could define the game's outcome, particularly if the Patriots attempt to exploit mismatches or utilize motion to confuse coverage. Special teams can't be overlooked, especially in tight contests. Punt returns, kickoffs, and field goals will have outsized impact on field position and momentum. Trey Tucker, Dylan Lobe, and Zamir White are likely to handle return duties, while Carlson's consistency in kicking situations will be scrutinized. Special teams often create subtle advantages that can turn the tide in close games, and in a matchup as evenly balanced as this one, every yard, every touch, and every point matters. Controlling field position through returns and effective punting could allow the Raiders to dictate pace and put pressure on the Patriots' offense. The mental aspect of this game is just as important as the physical. Week 1 sets the tone for the season, and establishing confidence early can create momentum that carries through several weeks. Players must remain focused on fundamentals, but also be ready to adapt to the unexpected. New England's defensive schemes, offensive audibles, and situational awareness will require constant adjustment. Geno Smith must stay calm under pressure. The offensive line must communicate flawlessly. Skill players must execute their routes and reads perfectly, and the defense must anticipate tendencies without overcommitting. Every element of preparation, strategy, and execution will be tested. Leadership on and off the field is also vital. Veteran presence in the locker room, communication between units, and in-game adjustments by coaches will all influence the final outcome. Chip Kelly's approach emphasizes versatility, motion, and unpredictability, but it requires buy-in from every player to succeed. Conversely, Vrabel's Patriots team relies on discipline, physicality, and strategic execution. The contrast in coaching philosophies adds an extra layer of intrigue, as fans will see how preparation meets improvisation in a high-stakes opening game. Rookies and new acquisitions will also have their moments in the spotlight. How quickly they adapt to NFL speed, read assignments, and fit into the scheme could create pivotal plays. A single defensive stop, a breakout reception, or a long run can swing momentum dramatically. While stars like Geno Smith, Brock Bowers, and Ashton Gentry carry the bulk of expectations, role players and rotational contributors can define critical stretches of the game. This matchup is a microcosm of the entire season, testing execution, endurance, adaptability, and resilience. From the quarterback reading complex fronts to the running back, finding seams in a relentless defense, from receivers stretching the field to tight ends creating mismatches, and from the offensive and defensive trenches to coverage responsibilities and special teams execution, every aspect of the game is interconnected. The Raiders' performance in Week 1 will offer insight not just into their talent, but into their ability to execute a complete game plan under real NFL pressure. Every snap, every route, every tackle, and every return contributes to the narrative. Raiders Nation will be watching closely, dissecting every play, celebrating successes, and learning from mistakes. Week 1 is more than just a kickoff to the season. It's the first chapter in a story that could define this team's trajectory. The energy, excitement, and anticipation are electric, and the players know the stakes. Performance here sets expectations, builds confidence, and gives fans a sense of how this team could evolve over the coming months. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. DK Metcalf's move from the Steelers to the Raiders has sent shockwaves through the NFL, igniting endless speculation about the future of both franchises and the balance of power in the AFC. Rumors have been circulating for weeks, with insiders hinting that the Raiders were prepared to offer a deal that would be impossible to refuse, and now those whispers have turned into reality. Sources close to the negotiation table suggest that Metcalf's new contract is not just a major payday, but also packed with incentives that could redefine his career trajectory. The Raiders' front office reportedly moved quickly to finalize the deal once it became clear that the Steelers were unable or unwilling to match the terms being offered, highlighting a growing trend in the league where top-tier wide receivers are being aggressively pursued by teams hungry to make an immediate championship push. Fans and analysts alike are dissecting the implications of this signing, pondering how Metcalf's presence will transform the Raiders' offensive schemes and what it might mean for quarterback dynamics, especially considering the team's previous struggles to maintain a consistent passing game. While some critics question whether the investment is justified, the buzz around this blockbuster signing has dominated sports talk shows and social media feeds alike, turning it into a story that refuses to fade. The signing of DK Metcalf by the Raiders has sparked a flurry of debate among NFL pundits, who are now scrutinizing every facet of the deal in search of hidden advantages or potential pitfalls. Many experts suggest that Metcalf's combination of size, speed, and hands could instantly elevate the Raiders' passing attack, providing a reliable target that could open the field for other skill players. Observers have pointed out that the timing of this deal coincides with a critical juncture in the Raiders' rebuilding efforts, where securing a marquee player could send a signal to both fans and prospective free agents that the franchise is serious about contending. Meanwhile, whispers within league circles hint at behind-the-scenes discussions between coaching staff and Metcalf's representatives regarding his role in play calling and involvement in the team's overall offensive strategy. Social media chatter has exploded as well, with fans dissecting past game footage to speculate how Metcalf's route running and physicality will mesh with the Raiders' offensive line and quarterback style. There is an undercurrent of excitement and apprehension, as this signing carries both the potential for immediate impact and the weight of enormous financial commitment. Analysts and insiders continue to speculate whether this move might trigger a domino effect in the wide receiver market, prompting rival teams to reconsider their strategies in response to what could be the defining transaction of the offseason. Speculation surrounding DK Metcalf's decision to leave the Steelers for the Raiders has intensified, with rumors suggesting that internal dynamics in Pittsburgh may have played a role in the blockbuster transfer. Sources familiar with the situation hint at behind-the-scenes disagreements over offensive priorities, contract negotiations, and the overall direction of the Steelers' passing game, which may have influenced Metcalf's decision to seek greener pastures. In contrast, the Raiders reportedly presented a vision for the future that aligned perfectly with the wide receiver's ambitions, including a prominent role in the offense, leadership opportunities, and the chance to contribute to a team hungry for playoff relevance. Sports talk shows and fan forums are now teeming with theories about how this move might reshape team identities, with some suggesting that Metcalf's departure leaves a significant void in Pittsburgh's aerial attack, while simultaneously elevating the Raiders' potential to challenge top AFC contenders. Insider reports further indicate that negotiations involved intricate details, such as performance incentives, media obligations, and community engagement expectations, making the contract one of the most complex and talked about in recent memory. As the news continues to reverberate, analysts debate whether this signing represents a calculated risk or a masterstroke of talent acquisition, while fans eagerly anticipate seeing how the first games with Metcalf in silver and black will unfold on the field. The atmosphere surrounding the Raiders' acquisition of DK Metcalf is charged with excitement, anticipation, and in some quarters, skepticism, as observers attempt to weigh the immediate and long-term effects of the signing. Rumors have circulated about how this deal might influence the morale of existing players, particularly wide receivers and tight ends who may now find themselves competing for targets with one of the most physically dominant receivers in the league. Some insiders suggest that the team's playbook could undergo significant alterations to maximize Metcalf's unique skill set, while others speculate that his presence could elevate quarterback performance, creating a more dynamic, unpredictable offensive attack. Meanwhile, fan communities are abuzz with debates over jersey sales, ticket demand, and even the potential cultural impact of a marquee star joining a franchise eager to regain national prominence. Pundits continue to analyze prior matchups and statistical performance to predict how Metcalf's arrival might alter defensive game planning across the league, with many anticipating that opposing coordinators will be forced to reconsider their schemes to account for his game-breaking abilities. Amid the frenzy of speculation, DK Metcalf's transition to the Raiders has inspired endless conjecture about the potential ripple effects across the NFL landscape, with insiders suggesting that this signing could trigger a broader reevaluation of wide receiver valuations and contract strategies. Sources whisper that other franchises may now feel pressure to pursue their own marquee acquisitions or renegotiate existing deals to maintain competitive parity. Analysts have debated whether Metcalf's move represents a paradigm shift in player leverage, as the combination of a mega contract, immediate team impact, and media attention sets a new benchmark for high-profile free agent negotiations. Meanwhile, within the Raiders organization, rumors indicate that internal meetings are being held to integrate Metcalf into the team culture and ensure that the financial investment translates into tangible on-field performance. Social media trends, podcasts, and sports commentary platforms are teeming with conjecture about Metcalf's first season in silver and black, with some fans envisioning record-breaking plays and others cautiously awaiting confirmation that hype can transform into consistent success. This ongoing buzz, fueled by a mixture of insider reports, fan theories, and expert analysis, has transformed what might have been a standard free agency move into a full-blown league-wide talking point, demonstrating how a single high-profile signing can generate an almost perpetual wave of speculation, commentary, and anticipation. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.